Next, let's teach you how to crochet the wisteria flower. The yarn needed to crochet the wisteria flower: green, yellow, and purple. The petals are purple, with a yellow flower base and green. Let's start by crocheting the purple petals. Crochet the purple petals. Start with 9 chain stitches. Here is another demo of chain stitch. Now I will demo how to crochet a chain stitch. Here, use a chain stitch as the foundation chain. First, make a chain stitch. A chain stitch is the foundation chain. If you are going to make single crochet, next, 1 chain stitch as the foundation chain is enough. If you need to make a half double crochet, you need to make 2 chain stitches as the foundation chain. For a double crochet, make 3 chain stitches. For a double crochet, foundation chain. Make 3 chain stitches as the foundation chain, and so on. The taller the stitch, the more chain stitches you need for the foundation chain. Three chain stitches are the foundation chain for a double crochet. A double crochet requires a yarn over. Insert the hook into the stitch and bring the yarn over. There are 3 loops on the hook. Pull the yarn through the first 2 loops. Then pull the yarn through the last 2 loops. A double crochet height requires 2 yarn overs. So you need to make 3 chain stitches as the foundation chain. Remove 3 chain stitches. Change to 2 chain stitches. This is the foundation chain for a half double crochet. For a half double crochet, yarn over. Insert the hook into the stitch. Bring the yarn out of the stitch. There are 3 loops on the hook. Pull the yarn through all 3 loops. Pull through all 3 loops at once. A half double crochet is shorter than a double crochet, but taller than a single crochet. So you need to make 2 chain stitches as the foundation chain. Now remove the loop and make a single crochet. A single crochet only needs 1 chain stitch as the foundation chain. Make 1 chain stitch. Let's get back. The starting method. This is how you wrap the yarn. Wrap around your finger. Wrap once. Wrap it like this. Then use a 2 mm hook. Insert the hook from below. Yarn over. Chain 1. Then crochet 9 chain stitches. To crochet the chain stitch, simply yarn over and pull through. Pull through once is 1 stitch. 2 stitches. 3 stitches. We need 9 chain stitches. Now we have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 chain stitches, 9 chain stitches like this. Now, start crocheting back from 2. Crochet 7 single crochets back. Then do 4 single crochets into 1 stitch. Let's do 7 single crochets. Here is another demo of single crochet. For a single crochet, bring the hook to the middle. Do not yarn over. Insert the hook into the stitch. Bring the yarn through with the hook. There are 2 loops on the hook. Pull the yarn through both loops. This is how to make a single crochet. Let's get back. 2 2. This is 2 1. This is 2 2. To 1 stitch. 2 2 stitches, insert the hook, here. Yarn over. This is a single crochet. Then place the stitch marker. Here is another demo of where to place a marker. When making single crochet, have double crochet and double crochet. They all form a V-shaped stitch when viewed from the side. The first stitch after the foundation chain is the first stitch of the round. If you can't find this stitch, place a marker after making the first stitch. Place a marker at the first stitch. Where to place the marker? Where to place the marker? The V-shaped stitch when viewed from the side. When crocheting, go through the entire V-shaped stitch. When placing the marker, also go through the entire V-shaped stitch. The V-shaped stitch when viewed from the side. Place the marker by going through the entire V-shaped stitch. Next time, use the first stitch. Insert at the marker position. This is how to find the first stitch and place a marker. You might wonder, after making the first stitch and forming the V-shape, there is actually another V-shape in front. Why is the first stitch the one with the marker, and not the previous V-shape? Before making the first single crochet, make a foundation chain first. The foundation chain is not counted in the total stitch count. The foundation chain and the slip stitch at the end of each round are not counted. At the end of each round, make a slip stitch. Then, for the second round, make a foundation chain. These 2 stitches are not counted. Start counting stitches from the first stitch after the foundation chain. So place the marker at the first stitch, and not at the V-shape from the slip stitch. Let's get back. Crochet 7 single crochets. Now, it's 1. Continue crocheting. 2. 7. 7 single crochets. Crochet to the end, Then crochet for single crochets in the final hole. In the stitch, crochet for single crochets. Crochet for single crochets in one stitch. Crochet for single crochets into this stitch, then tighten the yarn. Crochet 7 single crochets on the other side. How to insert the hook for single crochet. Insert the hook here. Into this yarn. This yarn. And the space between these two strands of yarn. Insert the hook. Insert the hook between these two strands of yarn. Seven. Hide the yarn behind. Then insert the hook between these two strands of yarn. Insert the hook here. Crochet 7 single crochets. Five. 6. 7. 7 single crochets. After crocheting, place a stitch marker on the first stitch. Mark the position with a slip stitch. Here is another demo of split stitch. In this episode, we will learn how to make a slip stitch. Using the magic ring to start the piece. At the end of each round, make a slip stitch to join the last stitch to the first stitch. To connect the whole piece into a ring. After completing the stitch count for the first round. Now, let's make a slip stitch. First, find the first stitch of this round. The first stitch is marked with a stitch marker. This is the first stitch. To make a slip stitch, draw the loop to the middle of the hook. Use your right index finger to hold the loop. Insert the hook into the first stitch. Pass through the first stitch at the marked spot. When making a slip stitch, go through the V-shaped stitch. Penetrate the V-shaped stitch. Bring the yarn with the hook. Pull the yarn out through the first stitch. After pulling out, there are 2 loops on the hook. Bring the second loop onto the hook. Pull it through the original loop on the hook. Tighten the loop by repeatedly pulling. The slip stitch is completed. Connect the last stitch to the first stitch to form a circle. This is a slip stitch. Let's get back. Then chain 1. One petal of the wisteria flower. Now, it's done. This is its large petal. We will crochet 6 such petals. To save time, you have already crocheted them. These are the 6 large petals of the wisteria flower. After crocheting the large petals, now start crocheting the small petals. The small petals are crocheted with yellow yarn. Using this yellow yarn, similarly, wrap the yarn. Crochet 7 chain stitches. Then, crochet single crochets from below. Yarn over. Crochet 7 chain stitches. The small petals. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. After crocheting these 7 chain stitches, start crocheting back from the second stitch. Crochet 5 single crochets. This is the first one. This is the second one. Then, insert the hook into the second stitch. Crochet 5 single crochets. Two. Now it's 3 stitches. 1 stitch, 2 stitches, 3 stitches. Then, remember to mark the first stitch. Mark. Crochet 3 more, then crochet 2 more. After crocheting these 5 single crochets, crochet 4 single crochets in 1 stitch. 3. Crochet 4 single crochets in 1 stitch. After crocheting these 4 stitches, tighten the yarn. It's the same as the big petals. Insert the hook into the space between these 2 yarns. Pull the yarn through. Crochet 5 single crochets. Five single crochets. After it, remove the marker. We will crochet 3 small petals. After pulling through the slip stitch, chain 1, then break the yarn. Tighten the yarn tail and cut it off. The small petal is complete. We will crochet 3 small petals like this. This is the yarn tail I crocheted earlier. Just cut it off. After crocheting the petals, let's begin assembling. This is the small petal. This is the big petal. We will use white yarn. First, let's assemble the petal. During assembly, start from the top. From the top of the petal, tie the 2 yarn ends together. First, pull the needle out. Shape it into this hugging shape. When tightening the second round, pull it tighter. Then, begin assembling the big petal. Begin assembling the big petal. Insert the needle first. Finally, shape it. The flower base is crocheted with green yarn. The flower base needs to be crocheted in the ring. For the first round, crochet 6 single crochets. Ring stitch start. Wrap the yarn around your hand like this. Wrap it around here. Then wrap it again. The yarn should be on top. Then hold it in place. Do not let go. Insert the hook from below. Yarn over. Then chain 1. Chain 1, then crochet 6 single crochets. Crochet single crochets by inserting the hook into the stitch and yarn over. Pull through. This is 1 single crochet, then place a marker on it. Then crochet 5 more single crochets. Two. Insert the hook, yarn over. Now, crochet 3 stitches. Six stitches. Now 6 single crochets are done. Once done, pull the hook out. Tighten the loop. After tightening, pull through to the marked stitch position. Remove the marker. The first round is complete. The second round is 6 single crochets, 1 increase. Here is another demo of increase. In this video, I will teach you how to make an increase in single crochet. An increase in single crochet means making 1 single crochet, then adding another single crochet. It means adding 1 single crochet on the current basis. Making 2 stitches in 1 stitch is called an increase in single crochet. So how do you make an increase in single crochet? Normally, you make 1 stitch in 1 stitch. This is the regular way of crocheting. For an increase, you make 2 stitches in 1 stitch. This is called an increase. Making 2 single crochets in 1 stitch. This is an increase in single crochet. If it is an increase in double crochet, it means making 2 double crochets in 1 stitch. An increase means making 2 stitches in 1 stitch. Changing 1 stitch into 2 stitches. This is called an increase. Let me demonstrate again. Make 1 stitch in 1 stitch. Enter the same stitch again and make another stitch. This is called an increase. Making 2 stitches in 1 stitch is called an increase. 1 stitch in 1 stitch. This is the regular way of crocheting. Now we are making single crochet. 1 stitch in 1 stitch. Making 2 stitches in 1 stitch is called an increase. Let's get back. After completing the first round, let's do the second round. The second round is 5 single crochets. 1 increase. 5 single crochets. Insert the hook from below. Insert below this stitch. Insert the hook. One. After crocheting the first stitch, place the marker. Crochet 5 single crochets. Five. Crochet 5 single crochets. Then crochet 1 increase. Increase by crocheting 2 single crochets in 1 stitch. Crochet 2 stitches. Insert the hook into the stitch. Crochet 1 stitch, then crochet another into the same stitch. Crochet 1 more. This is an increase of single crochets. Then turn it over. After crocheting, pull through to the marked stitch. After completing the slip stitch, chain 1. The third round is complete. Then hide the yarn tail inside. Hide inside. Start crocheting the fourth round. For the fourth round, crochet 7 single crochets. Seven. Insert the hook from the base of the stitch. After crocheting the first stitch, place the stitch marker. Then crochet 7 single crochets. 1, 2, 4, 5, 7, then increase at the 8th stitch. Crochet 2 single crochets into 1 stitch. Then pull through to the marked stitch position. Remove the marker. Now it's round 1, 2, 3, and
Start
4.
crocheting
the 5th round. The 5th round is for single crochets, 1 increase, 3 single crochets, 1 increase.